Have you ever asked yourself why some people stay broke and others are building wealth? If that's a question you ever asked yourself, I want you to know there's a reason why. It's not always about how much money people are making, but a lot of it comes down to how people think about money and the way they process and understand money. See, money is a language. The same way we speak English, the same way someone could speak a different language or learn a different language, that's the same way money is. It's basically a language that you have to learn. The people that learn how money works and the way to understand it and speak that language are the ones who are building wealth, are the ones who come out being successful. There's a big gap in our community between people who have a poor mindset and people who have a wealth mindset, a wealth building mindset. We have a lot of people in our community that instead of investing or learning how to invest, learning how to invest into themselves or their business, they would rather spend their own money. They would rather spend and think in the short term. One of the big differences between a poor mindset and a wealth mindset is how money gets used. Someone with a poor mindset always usually asks, what can I buy with this right now? What can I buy with my money that I have? Their focus is always spending and buying things that could fit their right now. Maybe it's a nicer car, maybe it's a better apartment, maybe it's a few vacations every few months. You have to understand that taking a vacation is a reward for putting in hard work. Vacations are not meant to be taken every 3 to 4 uh months. That's not what a vacation is. Maybe you could spend the whole year, beginning of the year, working and then take a vacation mid-year, and then that's good. But I'm not going to be the person to tell you when to take vacations, when not to. But you have to find a way to discipline yourself to be in that, okay, I'm going to work mode. Then I'm going to take a vacation to kind of reward myself for the amount of work that I've put in. But a lot of people are rewarding themselves for not even doing anything and not putting any work. So a lot of people are finding ways to save up for the next vacation, or they're putting a vacation on the credit card. That might be one of the most absurd things, is already not having money, already struggling to pay rent, already struggling to pay your car note, but at the same time you're trying to fund your next vacation. It's because a lot of people live for social media. See, there's nothing wrong with enjoying your money when you have it, but when most of your income goes towards that, and that's the focal point of your life, is the next vacation, the next uh going out, the next party or the next event, and you're spending money on all of these things, then that's where you mess up, and that's where you can mess up your life. You have to understand that someone with a wealth mindset thinks differently. They're not thinking about the now. Instead, they're asking themselves, what can I buy right now? What can I invest in that will help me in the future, that will appreciate over time, and that will allow me to grow my wealth? That's what they're thinking. They don't think about the now, having fun right now, taking a few vacations every 3 months, being in Houston, then being in Puerto Rico, then taking 3 trips, 4 trips every few months. But they're thinking about the long term, how the money they're making right now, they could scale it and find a way to either invest that into a business idea that they have or invest that into some appreciating assets, whether it's stocks, whether it's real estate, whether they have a little bit of crypto, whatever it is, or they're investing into themselves, a business idea that they had, whatever it is, that's how that's how wealthy people think. I always knew I wanted to become an entrepreneur or someone who builds businesses or just goes out and has creative ideas and puts them out there, because when I was in around middle school, I started selling candy with my older brother, and we became like the main supplier of our school, just selling candy to kids, because that was the easiest way to make some money at that time. If we wanted J's or we wanted to buy shoes, we would just go out and we bought a stack of candy from Walmart that had maybe 20 items or 25 items, however much was in there. And then we were charging 75 cents or $1 for each candy. And then to buy that whole bag was probably like $7 or $8. We would go with our mom, she would buy it for us, and then the profit we would get off of that would be, it was crazy. So I already was establishing this entrepreneur mindset as a kid. I already understood business. I already understood revenue and cost of revenue as a kid. So even as a kid, you can find a way to, if you're a 14, 15-year-old, you can find a way to start a little business that will help you become an entrepreneur, or that will help you gain those skills. Understanding that you have to set your mind in a way where you're not thinking like someone who's poor, but you're thinking about a growth mindset. You're thinking about a wealth mindset. You're thinking for the tomorrow, the long term. A lot of people only like to think about the short term instead of thinking about long term. Your time horizon is the most important thing. People have different time horizons, yes, but your time horizons, every time horizon that someone has, whether it's short term or long term, you should have goals and plans set out for that. People always want fast results. They want short term gratification. They want things done right now, results right now. But anything good or any success that someone finds in life doesn't come from doing something in the short term. It comes from being consistent at something, and then over time, you will be good. Just like with anything in life, it's not only a business thing. It's not only a making money thing, but it's anything in life. You're playing the piano every day for 30 minutes or an hour, you're going to become very good. Let's say you do that for a year, you're going to become really good. Let's say you do that for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you're going to become someone who's very good at the piano. You start working out. You're someone that was a little bit skinny. Now you're working out more, and every day that goes by, you're working out and you're adding a little bit more muscle than you had yesterday. And that's compounding over time. Everything is about compounding and being consistent, being intentional with everything that you do. And that's the thing you have to understand, is not thinking about the fast results that you might want in the short term, but thinking about how you can grow your wealth in the long term. Stop thinking about fast money, quick wins, trying to make quick money, trying to invest in the next Forex, right? A lot of people during probably 2020, 2019 were going to these Forex meetings, but weren't understanding. Yes, Forex is a real thing. Forex is a currency that you're trading. But you have to understand that during that time, they were selling courses. They were selling an idea. They weren't actually teaching people how to trade or teaching people how to get into Forex. And because you were someone who's okay and loves having short-term wins, you got sucked into that. And that's why a lot of people joined Forex, because they wanted those quick wins. They thought that being part of this community was going to get them the quick wins, instead of taking their time and actually going to learn what Forex actually is and the whole purpose behind it. Forex, you can trade Forex, you can make money off of it. But instead of going to learn the skill, people wanted to be part of a community that was going to basically do the work for them. That was the biggest issue with Forex, because people thought by joining this group they're going to make instant money. But that's not how it works. If you're trading, you have to learn how to trade. You don't become a successful trader after a year, after 5 years, even after 10 years. You become a successful trader every day that goes by, every day of being consistent that goes by. And this is one of the main reasons why people, they fall for get rich quick schemes, risky trades, shortcuts that promise easy money. Real wealth is usually over time. It's done over time. It doesn't happen like that. A wealth mindset understands that time is one of the most powerful tools in investing. They think in years and even decades, not about a year, 2 years, but they think more long term. They're willing to invest consistently month after month, knowing that these investments that they're making right now are going to grow over time. When your money compounds, something interesting happens. You're allowing your investments to grow every year that goes by. So if you're investing into the stock market and you're investing into a broad market fund that holds some of the top USA companies, your returns are going to be the same pretty much every year, the 10%. and you're consistently dollar cost averaging or investing 50 a week, 100 a week, 200 a week, however much it is that you can spare, then your money will be growing over time. And that's something you have to understand is that, yes, let me start with the amount that I have now. You don't have to have $5,000 to start investing. You can start with $1. You know why I say you can start with $1? Because brokerage firms, brokerage companies allow you to be able to buy fractional shares of a company. So you don't have to buy, if a stock says 200, it's $200, you don't have to go have a $200 to buy, have ownership in the stock. But you can take your $1 and invest into that. Obviously, you don't want to only have $1 in a stock because you want your money growing over time. But that just shows you fractional shares, and having fractional shares is a key thing that allows you to grow your money. I think one of the last problems that people have is blaming blaming others for their financial woes and their financial problems rather than taking responsibility and being accountable. I've seen a lot of situations where people would rather blame other people for the situations that they fall into, or the things that they fall into that aren't allowing them to be successful financially. Someone with a poor mindset is always going to find a way to blame others for why they're in what they're in. They'll always want people to take blame for what they're doing or what they're not doing. They might blame the economy, the job. Oh, nobody's hiring right now. People don't want to hire. Obviously, right now in this economy, it's probably very hard to get a job. But that doesn't mean you don't try. That doesn't mean you don't find a way to still prevail and ultimately get a job. That's one of the biggest things. You have to learn how to stick with it, stick with the process. Yes, you apply to 50 jobs, but you didn't get any of them that are in your career. But keep on applying. God's gonna give you that opportunity. He's gonna drop that opportunity in your lap. All you gotta do is be consistent. Keep on going. People like blaming their boss, the system, say they have bad luck. To a certain degree, you could say it's luck, but at the end of the day, anything you put into life, those are the results you're going to get. So if you're half-assing everything or you're half-assing things, then you're going to get half-ass results. You have to understand that anything that you're inputting into life, that's the output you're going to receive. If you're giving your full energy, you're giving your full force for months on months on months on months, you're being consistent, you're being intentional. Whatever it is, God has a plan for you. He's going to come back and give you whatever it is that you're looking for. You also have to understand that blaming others for your situation doesn't do anything for you. A wealth mindset focuses on what you can control. Blaming others for your situation is trying to take blame, the real blame that should go to you, because at the end of the day, you're the one responsible for your own life. You're the one responsible to go out and make money. You're the one responsible to go out and find ways to make money, create a business, start learning about investing, start learning about trading. You're the one responsible for that, because nobody's going to come and force you to actually go out of your way and learn investing. Even if I was someone that knew a lot about investing and I went and told some of my friends or told a few people, if they don't want to listen or they don't want to resonate with what I'm telling them, I can't force them. It'll be the demise of them, but it won't be my fault. You can only drag a few people along the lines, and not everybody's going to want to come. Because when it comes to money and finances, imagine telling someone to invest into something that they don't fully understand. And this is why people have to go learn and seek knowledge. Seek this information that's already out there. That's how wealthy people have become wealthy and have become wealthy. Because, okay, yes, they create their business and they start making money, but then they take this money and invest it into the market. Because what's honestly happening when you're investing your money into the market? The US, the broad economy. What's happening? There's multiple businesses, there's multiple companies out there that are investing, that are making money. And ultimately what you're doing is you're investing into those companies to see their growth. And naturally they're going to grow because they're incentivized because there's investors backing them, they're incentivized to make more money. They're incentivized to show growth, right? Because what happens once they start their growth rates start to lower or slow down? What happens is that investors like us, retail investors, start saying, damn, this is not a good company to invest into anymore. Let me back out. Let me take my money out. So they're incentivized to work for us. They're basically working for us. If you really think about it, they're basically working for us. So you got to find a way to program your mind and think, okay, these companies are working for us. They're incentivized to have good earnings. They're incentivized to grow. And that's why different companies, that's why people invest into the market, because these companies are incentivized to have good returns. And with you investing into the economy, you'll make profits off of that. You'll make money off of that. Understand that's how the wealthy people build their wealth, and that's how they make majority of their money. Investing into assets, whether it's an ETF, whether it's a personal stock or a 401k that you have, where it's an employer sponsored, where your employer is taking some of your paycheck, a cut of your paycheck, and then they're giving you a match. Whatever it is that you're finding a way to invest, at least you're investing into the market. That's one of the main things. Just start today. At the end of the day, your financial future is heavily influenced by how you think about money. It's only the way you think about it, that's what you're going to get out of it. So if you have a poor mindset and focus on only spending and trying to take shortcuts and blaming outside factors, blaming other people for what really should be getting blamed on you, and the blame that you should be putting on yourself, then you're not going to be successful, or you're not going to find ways to make money. You're going to be working for the rest of your life, or you won't be able to retire when you want to retire. But a wealthy mindset is someone who focuses on investing, long-term thinking, not thinking in the short term, and taking responsibility for every decision that they make, every financial decision that they make. You don't have to stick with the way you've always thought about money, but try to change your mindset and change the way you think. Thank you for listening to this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if y'all found a few gems in this video. Peace.